today's video, I'll be going over all the gear in my kayak and how I use it and how I fish out in the water. So yeah, we'll start at the front and work our way back. So up the front here is my anchor. So yeah, it's just a simple little fold out anchor, so I spin this round and it folds out to be a quite large grapple anchor, probably too big for my boat, but I like to be better safe than sorry because we get some pretty strong currents out the back here and I don't want to be dragging along the bottom while I'm out there fishing. So this holds into the sand quite nicely, but then the good thing about it is it tucks away nicely as well, so I can fit it into the bottom of my kayak quite easily without having to worry about space and extra weight and everything. And I've got quite a long chain on here as well, so most of the time the chain will just bob up and down on the water and this won't even move on the bottom. But yeah, that slots into there quite nicely, along with your ice cream container that holds all the extra chain and rope. That sits comfortably nicely in there, and the hatch just closes like that. Nice sealed waterproof hatch so no water can get into the bottom of the boat, because the second water gets inside here, you've got no chance and your boat will sink. And then working our way back down, I've got a little rod holder which actually can swivel if you give it a little pull up, so that can turn around like that, and so I can fish on whatever angle I want while sitting in my seat without actually having to hold the rod. And it helps when I've got a big fish on and I don't have the strength to pull it up necessarily or hold it for so long, so I just stick it in there. And then a little cup holder, a couple of little trays along here, rod holder here, and yeah, you would have seen me use all these little things out fishing. Yeah, like this rod holder here, I often use this one because it's on my right hand side and it's my most used holder. And then also up the front here I have a little carabiner where I clip my paddle onto when I'm fishing, and that just makes sure that it's out the way and doesn't get in the way of my line and rod and everything. The second hatch in the boat, which is right below my bum, just by the seat, and this is where I keep my tackle and easy to access sort of gear, the stuff that I'll be needing to use quite a lot, you know. So here I've got my my traces and hooks and stuff, and then my sinkers. And then in here, I've just got a knife and gloves and stuff, and I'll go through this box and these two boxes in a bit more detail later in the video. But yeah, I also carry my camera gear in there when I'm out there filming. And this bag just helps it hold in one place, because otherwise it can slide along the bottom, because the bottom of the boat, the inside is completely open, so everything can move around into there. And then just here we have my seat, and this just simply clips on, so when I want to remove it I can just attach it, and it clips onto the back there as well. If I'm out there for any longer than about an hour, I'm definitely going to want the seat, because that helps get me comfortable and stops me from getting cramped. And then working our way to the back, I've got my two fishing rods. And so with my rods and pretty much all my gear, I always have it latched down somehow, whether that's with a carabiner or just straight up tied to the boat, because like I said, the second you tip, all your gear's gone. So the best way to make sure that doesn't happen is just to latch everything down, but I want to do it in the best way possible so that I can still work efficiently and comfortably while I'm out there on the water. So yeah, with my rod I just have a little carabiner with some elastic, and it's not strong elastic, but if the rod fell without a fish on it, it would hold it in the water, but if there's a fish on there, it would probably snap this. But yeah, based on where I am on the boat, where I'm fishing, I can just hook it onto different parts and then move my rod around, and that just means it's always secure in case I have to drop it or put it down somewhere and then it washes overboard, or if I'm paddling out there and I knock it and it falls in. It's just good to be safe than sorry, you know. And that's the same with my other rod and my paddle and just everything that I use out on board. The only thing that I don't have a tie for, which I probably should, and I've already lost it before, was my knife. I had just had it sitting in beside my seat when I came in one time, and I came in and tipped over on a wave and lost the knife, but all the other gear was safe, which was good. But yeah, it's just good to have everything clipped down just in case something goes wrong, because you never really know. And then just here I have my net, and that's bungeed in with this little bungee strap that hooks around this container. And yeah, this is all tied on, so that's not coming off, so that way I can easily grab it. And yeah, and right at the back here I have this old recycling bin container. And I've drilled a few holes in it and looped some bungee cord through it, and that just holds it nice and tight to the bottom of the boat. And that way I can store my stuff in here and also not worry about it tipping out or moving too much here. And then I can put my chopping board, which is just here down the side there. And I also carry my sack in here for fish, because if I'm out there for, like I said, a couple of hours at a time, the fish can get very hot in the heat, so I like to keep them as cool as possible without bringing a chili bin out, because if I'm going to bring a chili bin out, it's going to take a lot more space, and I don't really have the space for a chili bag, which is what a lot of people use, but it's quite a small kayak, so I decided to just go to the bin and put them in a sack instead. But that's all I keep in there. I don't like to have too much because obviously this is where my fish go, and so I want to keep that space as open as possible. But just sticking out the back of it, I have a flag, because often I go out early in the morning, and if the sun's just coming up and you can barely see me on the water, I don't want boats running over me, so this flag just helps me stand out a little bit more in the water and make sure that other boats can see me. So as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to try and be as light as possible when I'm out in the water, because the more weight I have on board, the easier it is for me to tip, and the closer I am to the water, which means more waves can come over and it's harder to board fish and all that. So yeah, I'll go through my gear. Just here in this little container, I have a couple of little foam pads for my extra traces for when I want to swap them, which are on my rods here. And then just all my sinkers, because I like to have a large variety of sinkers for when I'm fishing in different times of the day and different tides and different parts of the ocean. But yeah, not too many, just enough, and yeah, that really helps keep the weight down, as long as if I have as little as possible in my little box here, but I still have enough for me to have a good variety. And then in this box I just have a little container with my hooks, and I've got heaps of different hook sizes, again based on where I'm fishing and what tides I'm fishing and what fish I'm fishing for. So my larger hooks, my smaller sort of snapper hooks, and then some small little Cherokee hooks if I'm going off the rocks, and then more snapper hooks and some swivels. And then some more of my traces, my flasher rig traces, which have been working really well for me recently. Pulling in heaps of snapper with these. This is actually a snapper flasher rig, and this is a Cherokee flasher rig, but it's been working very well on the snapper as well. And then here I just have some extra trace nylon for when I break my line. Another little bait catcher, sort of heaps of mini hook things. This helps me catch some herrings and small bait when I'm out there. And then just a cork, another floaty, just in case, you know, I want to do some float fishing. You never really know what I want to do when I'm until I get out there. So I like to have everything just in case, and then I don't even know how that got in there, just a little soft bait. And then this is just kind of like my sort of every use items box. I don't really have anything in particular in here. Like, this is just fishing gear, but this is just sort of everything. So I've got my bait knife, which can also be used for cutting line and anchor rope and anything really. And a glove. You always need a glove just in case something goes wrong, or I'm pulling in a hand line and don't want to cut up my hands. And then some stronger trace nylon, which is good for some big fish. And then just a multi sort of fishing tool to weigh my fish, measure my fish. I've got a couple of knives on the side here. And then I've also got a little first aid kit. You always need first aid wherever you go, whether you're fishing, tramping, camping. You always need first aid just in case something goes wrong, because you never know what's going to happen really when you're out there. And then just some rubber bands, pliers, duct tape, cable ties, some chain things for my anchor, a couple of, I don't know, a lure hook, a carabiner, just sort of miscellaneous items that could be useful when I'm out on the water. But so far I've only ever had to go into this box to grab me a knife and an extra carabiner when one of them broke and fell in the water. But yeah, these just sit nicely in here, waterproof hatch. And that closes up nicely like that. So yeah, that's it for today. This is the kayak that I've been using, fishing out on the water behind me. And yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the videos that I've been posting in the past, and I'm sure there'll be heaps more to come, because I'm so into fishing and I just love heading out in the water on flat calm days and making the most of it. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful or entertaining at the least, and yeah, I'll see you next time.